Hey guys, I hope you're having an awesome day. Thank you for joining us online today here at Rise Church. I'm Pastor Vinny. I'm the youth pastor here, and I just want to say how honored I am to be able to bring you the word today. So find somewhere that you're comfortable and that you're going to be able to hear and listen to what the Lord has for us. I'm excited to dive in. So let's go ahead and do that. Get your favorite drink. Let us know you're here in the comments. Say hello to your online community. Let them know you're there. So today, if I had to put a title on my message, it would be Tower of Tired. Tower of Tired. And so I want to ask you this as we jump in. Have you ever been tired? I grew up with the phrase or hearing the phrase sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm not talking about tired like, oh, I need a nap kind of tired. I'm talking about you are at your wits' end. You are at the end of your rope. Maybe there's a common phrase that you know of when you're referring to just how exhausted you are with life. Maybe there's something you grew up hearing. Let us know in the comments. Maybe these phrases that I just used are ones that you're familiar with. Let us know. But I'm talking about just being tired of everything going on around you. And in these days, it is easy to find something to be tired about, whether it's politics, whether it's cultural things, whether it's work, whether it's family, whether it's whatever it is. There are lots of things that we can find ourselves, excuse me, to be tired in. And we get to the point where it's like, if someone asked me to do one more thing, if my kids do not be quiet, I'm gonna, like, we are at that end. If my boss tells me to do one more thing, I'm going to explode. Like, we get to those points in our life where we're just tired. We're just like exhausted, and one more thing is going to cause us to just go off. And the world is going to know just how tired and sick and tired I am, in fact. Um, but we've all been there. We've all experienced it. And maybe some of you today watching this, you're in the middle of your sick and tired moment. You're in the middle of just being tired. And I want to encourage you today and let you know that there's hope. Let you know that there's purpose to be found. And you don't have to remain in your season of being sick and tired. And that's for all of us. We can all be encouraged by that. I mean, we've all experienced being sick and tired, being tired. But we all know that there's another side to it. There's a way to get past it and through it. And maybe you're in the midst of it and you don't see it end. There's no hope in sight. I'm going to encourage you that there's still hope. So hang on and keep learning. And we're going to talk about some ways to get past our tired, to get through our tired, and find new ways of living life with God. And so sometimes when we get to that point of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, man, we have to really look at ourselves and be like, am I the cause of why I'm so tired and exhausted? Am I contributing to my tower of tired? Am I building on my tower of tired? Am I adding new things to my list of things to do that is causing me stress, that is causing me to be burned out, that is causing me to want to explode on everyone around me? And when we assess ourselves and look at ourselves and like, what am I doing? Am I doing something that is causing this to be exacerbated in my life? That is causing this to be worse? And a lot of the times we are contributing to our own tired, and we love it. Like we are addicted to tired almost. It seems like we go out of our way to add to our stress, and we don't mean to. And a lot of times, a lot of the things we don't ask for. We don't ask to lose our job. We don't ask for the diagnosis from the doctor. We don't ask for the water heater to bust. We don't ask for the dog to have fleas. We don't ask for the kids to be out of control. But the way that we set our life up, and when we allow our purpose to be confused and not focused, and we get caught up in the wrong things, and we start building our own towers of tired. And we'll talk about this tower of tired that we're building as we go. And a lot of times we think what we're doing is purposeful. We think it's awesome and great, and it's going to lead to somewhere good. And we're not going to be tired forever because we're working hard, and this is going to solve our problem. And we're going to find rest and satisfaction in this. But the truth is, we're not. And we're contributing to something that's not beneficial or good to us. But nobody asks for all the negative things that happen to us. But the problem is we're so focused on those things that happen to us, all the bad things, that one last thing breaks in this house, and I have to find new ways to pay for it and spend money on, that I'm just going to go crazy. If I have to pick up more hours at work, I'm going to lose it because everything keeps going wrong in my life. And the problem is we're so focused on those issues. We're focused on the symptoms, and we're not trying to find the cure. And we keep fighting those symptoms, thinking if we just fight this off, well, then we'll be better off on the end. And we lose our focus on finding the cure, of finding what is contributing to my tired. And like I said earlier, we're addicted to tired. We love to build our towers of tired. We like to build, and keep building and adding on. We love it so much, we flaunt them in our calendars and post them on social media. We place them on places of prominence in our planners. Like, we love to know that every line and every spot is filled in our calendars of all the busy that we have to do, of all the things that we are going to accomplish. And we're like, we had a busy week. This month has been busy. I've done this, and we post pictures of it, and we let people know, like, look at everything that I'm building, because we think that there's importance in it. And there is a lot of importance in the things that we build. But the problem is we lose focus on our purpose because we think it's important. We think building and succeeding is so important that we lose focus on what we were created to do. And so we get tired. And we think that because we're doing all this work and we're putting all this effort into it, that it's a good thing. And it's not always a good thing. Matthew 11:28-30 says, Then Jesus said, Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. Man, there's a verse in there that I could do a whole nother message on. And it's verse 29. I'll give you a little bit of it right now. Take my yoke upon you, let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your soul. We think that if we come to God with our issue, our problem, we give him our burden, and we get that new yoke, that it's not going to be an easy, fun process. So we think God is going to, punish us for putting all this effort into building our own, kingdom. We think God's going to come down hard on us and punish us. But no, right there, it says, let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart. And he understands your situation. He gets it. But he wants to teach you a new way. And I could go on and on in that verse. But just know that God's not mad at you. God's not trying to look to punish you. He wants the very best for you. And he shows us that his heart is gentle because he cares. He's like, I'm not going to come down on you, but I want to help you. Let me take your burden. Let me take that yoke that you're carrying, because mine's easier. Mine's lighter. And so, if you're worried about disappointing God or making him angry by giving him your burden, your yoke, man, you're not. He wants to help you. Be encouraged by that this morning. Ask yourself, whose yoke are you carrying? Because when you are tired, you've already lost sight of your purpose. When we're tired, we've already lost sight of our purpose. When we get to that point that we've been spinning our wheels, so to speak, and we're not going anywhere, and we've already lost sight of our purpose. We've allowed those little bitty things to anger us, to draw emotion in us, to get us to a point where we're at the end. And God's like, that's not the important thing. Come back to your purpose. Let me show you there's an easier way. Take this yoke. My burden I give you is light. Let me show you a new way. Whose yoke are you carrying? Yours or the Lord's? How long are you going to continue to build onto your tower of tired? Isaiah 40:31. But those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. When we put our trust in the Lord, he gives us a new strength. We're able to walk and not grow weary, to soar high on wings like eagles. I mean, those are good, awesome words, and they make you feel good, but it's so true. When we give our burden, when we give our yoke to God, and we say, here, you take it, and we're able to refocus and re-see what God's purpose is for us, and life is so much better. We're able to do things because he gives us a new strength. And that's important to know that, because a lot of the times we don't on purpose decide, oh, I'm going to spend all my money and time on my family and on these hobbies and in my job and work hard and hard because, I just want to be so awesome. We do it because we think, man, this is what God wants me to do. And it's true. He wants you to serve and love your family. He wants you to do awesome in your workplace. He wants you to be successful. But when you lose sight of why those things are important, it's because our purpose is to serve God and worship him, then that's when we get tired. When we focus, hey God, I want to worship you and serve you with everything I have. I want your burden and your yoke. I want to serve you to the best of my ability. And when your focus is on his purpose for you and why he created you, and that's to worship him, and when you're doing that, guess what? He gives you a new strength. Your walk is easier. You won't grow weary, so that you can fulfill all these things, so that you can be awesome in your job, so that you can love your family well, so you can serve your community, so you can do all these things God has put on your heart to do. But sometimes we stop worshiping over here and we start worshiping this tower of tired, of accomplishments. Refocus what your purpose is. Our purpose is to worship God. That's everybody. Everybody's purpose is to worship God. But guess what? Between him and you, between us and God, is what we find and where we narrow it down, maybe to what our job is supposed to be, to what and how we're supposed to worship him. Maybe it's through a charity. Maybe it's through working in your community. Maybe it's through building a business. Maybe it's through just loving your family well. Maybe it's through education. Maybe it's through there's a lot of different areas and ways that we can worship God. But we focus so much on doing that and we forget to actually worship God with that. And so our purpose is to worship God. How we do that, how we carry that out, that's between us and God. When we worship, we find our purpose. When we're walking in our purpose, we find hope. And worship creates hope, even when we can't see it. When you're in the midst of being sick and tired, and you're at the end, when you worship, it creates hope. And you're able to see it even when you can't see it. Because you're back to walking in your purpose, and that's worshiping. And that's when you get a new sense of hope. And God is with you and for you, and He cares about you. And when you worship Him and you're walking in your purpose, you begin to see it, even before you're able to see it, just by simply worshiping. When we build our own towers to heaven, and our heaven doesn't have to be a spiritual heaven, our heaven could be, whatever we think is awesome and great, whatever we attribute to being, successful and what people are going to see and what the highest of heights is, and for us, it's heaven. And there's a story in Genesis where a group of people, build a tower. They build their own tower, and they're going to build it to heaven. And you may have heard of the Tower of Babel. The Babylonians got together and they were unified, and that's important to know. They were unified in building this city and building this tower. But just because they were unified and they thought they were doing something great, the problem is they were doing it with the wrong intentions. They were doing it so they could build a name for themselves. They were building it so they can build up to heaven. And God's like, no, there's a different way. I want to show you a different way. Don't work to try to build yourself to heaven, to build your own success. In fact, you know what? I'm going to dismantle that. I'm going to cause confusion within their language and disperse them so they can't work together and understand each other. Because I'm going to show you a new way. And when we build our own towers of tired, guess what? We get to what we think is awesome, and we always end up to a point of where we're tired, confused, and nobody understands us. And we're lost and wondering how we got here. And mad and angry and bitter. God's like, nope, I have a better way for you. Don't worry about coming to me. I'm going to come to you. And there's a story also in Genesis where we run into a man named Jacob. And God shows us the answer to our tower of tired, to our tower of Babel. And He says, don't come to me. I'm going to come to you. And it's through this story of Jacob that we hear about that and learn about it. So Jacob is in his own mess. He's building his own tower of tired with the help of his mom, and his family is it's chaotic and crazy. It's probably normal and perfect. I mean, it is normal for that time period and that culture. So we have Jacob going to his dad because of his mom saying, hey, son, go to your dad and get the blessing. Steal it from your brother. So Esau was supposed to get the blessing. And here comes mama coming, hey, Jacob, no, this blessing is yours. Go trick your dad into him giving you the blessing. So he does that, tricks his dad, and gets the blessing. And so, building his own tower, building his own thing of what he thinks is good. So in that, he wants to get married. Jacob wants to get married, but here comes Mama Bear again. Like, nope, these girls around here aren't good. Dad, tell Jacob that he needs to go somewhere else to get a wife, to get married. So Jacob tells him to go to his uncle's house and marry one of his daughters. So here we are. Jacob's building his tower of tired. And I don't know if you've ever read this story or heard this story. Like, I'm tired and exhausted for Jacob just hearing. It's like I stole the blessing from my brother Esau, and then now my dad's telling me to go marry my cousin. Like, this is Jerry Springer craziness right here. So Jacob is on the way to go to his uncle's house, and this is where we're going to pick up in the story. In Genesis 28:11. At sundown, he arrived at a good place to set up camp and stopped there for the night. Jacob found a stone to rest his head against and lay down to sleep. Jacob is tired from all of his building. Jacob is tired from his debacle that he's in, and he's traveling to go, marry someone else, to marry someone. And in that journey, he gets tired and he decides that he is going to rest. And I don't know if you've ever been so tired that you saw a rock and you're like, yeah, that's the thing I'm going to lay my head on. I mean, just in the story itself, they had access to furs and animal skins. He could have rolled that up and slept on that, but for some reason that rock, he's like, I'm gonna sleep on that rock. I don't know if you've ever been so tired from that, but me, when I need a nap, when I need tired, I'm finding the coldest, darkest hole in my house and making sure my pillows and blankets are right, and I'm crawling into that. I'm not looking out in my backyard for a rock to lay on. If I want a good night's rest, a good night's sleep, it has to be cold and blankets and pillows galore. And so Jacob decides to lay his head on the rock. He falls asleep, and while he's sleeping, he has a dream. And in that dream, God shows him something. God shows him a staircase from heaven to earth, and angels going up and down, and God coming down. So we see a depiction of God coming to us, God coming to Jacob, not us building up to him, but God coming to us. And then also Jacob receives confirmation of his blessing, and God tells him, everything that you're sleeping on, all that land that you're sleeping on is yours. And your offspring are going to be in the number of grains of sand on the shore. So Jacob has this dream, and he wakes up, and in Genesis 28:18 it says, the next morning Jacob got up very early. He took the stone he had rested his head against, and he set it upright as a memorial pillar. Then he poured olive oil over it. So God confirms Jacob's blessing, and then shows him, gives him a renewed strength. Jacob knows his purpose now. He has what he's supposed to do. He knows what he is supposed to do, and he has the blessing. And he's encouraged and re-strengthened, and he gets up. In fact, he's so touched by that moment, and he's so impressed by what God showed him in the dream and that moment that he had with God while he was resting, that he sets up a memorial of it. He turns that stone up that he slept on, and he turns it into a memorial pillar. And he changes the name. And it's a common name you've heard now of Bethel, and that's where they get it from. I don't know about you, but I've never gotten up from a nap feeling like that was the greatest nap I've ever had. I'm going to use my pillow and make a memorial out of it. But he did that. And furthermore, he was so impressed by everything that happened during that rest, that dream, and God showing him all those things, that he makes God his Lord and commits to tithing. So it says that if all this comes true, God, I will commit you as my Lord, and I will tithe. Again, I don't know if you have taken a nap so great that you got saved, and you're like, where's the church so I can give some money? Like, I've never had a nap like that. That would be an awesome nap. But we've never gotten, saved from a nap and then wanted to give some money away. But his yoke is easy and his burden is light. How long will you continue to build your tower of tired? How long before you decide enough is enough? As I close today, I hope you're encouraged to know that there's hope in sight, and that the things that you're working on aren't in vain. They do serve a purpose, and they have their place, and they are important. But you have to refocus yourself to who and what you were created to do, and that is to worship God. And when you worship God, God will help you with all of this. When we take the time to rest, our purpose is made clear. Find rest, whatever that is for you. Find rest. Do it. Reconnect with God. Reconnect with your relationship with Him and you, so that you can have a renewed sense of a clarity in your purpose, a renewed strength, so that your walk will be strong and you won't grow weary. When we worship or we walk in our purpose, we find hope, even when we can't see it. This morning, if you're looking for hope in your tower, if you're looking for a way out in your tower, you're not going to find it. You're going to find hope in serving your purpose, and that's worshiping God. That's where you'll find hope. That's where your light at the end of the tunnel is. Our worship is a reminder of God's promises. In the same way Jacob set up his memorial pillar out of his rock. And there's moments in your life God is speaking to you and showing you a new way. We have to remember those times, and we do it through worshiping and getting back to Him. Our purpose to worship God. Our purpose is to worship God, and He will make our yoke easy. Rest and know He is Lord, and His burden is light. Lord, we love you, and I pray that every single person watching this would find hope and a renewed sense of strength in you this morning. That they would stop contributing to their own tower of tired, and they would start focusing on you, and they would live and work in your purpose and serve your purpose and serve you. Lord, I pray that you would continue to bless us, continue to show us the right way. Lord, continue to teach us. And we lean on you this morning, and we look to you for our hope. We look to you for our new strength in you. Lord, help us and guide us as we begin to refocus our purpose in you and what you have for us as we worship you. We love you and we thank you. Amen. See you guys next week. If we can do anything for you, please let us know. Reach out to us. You guys have an awesome week.